This story is absolutely insane. Did you guys hear about the father who killed a cop after a cop killed his son? Well, they just revealed some crazy details. So last Thursday, Cincinnati police got a call that a stolen car was found at Westview condominiums. When police got there, they found 4 people asleep in the car and all 4 took off running. 2 of the cops ran after 18-year-old Ryan Hitton, and that cop said that Ryan pulled a gun on him, so he fired 4 shots into Ryan, killing him, and they did find a weapon next to Ryan's body. So the next morning, Ryan's family goes to watch the body cam footage, and surprise, surprise, it never shows Ryan pointing a gun at the officers, and you can watch the footage yourself. It only shows him running away. Ryan's father, 38-year-old Rodney, was infuriated after seeing that footage and realizing his son did not have to die that day. And when he left the sheriff's office, he found the first officer he saw and plowed his vehicle into him, killing him. And that officer didn't have anything to do with Ryan's death, but Rodney was charged with taking his life and is due back in court tomorrow. Let me know what you guys think about all of this, and as always, I'll keep you guys updated.
So guys, if y'all just saw that, right? Y'all just saw that, y'all are seeing a lot of people's opinions about this. So now let's just read the comments. Let's just read the comments about this whole situation, and let's see what people were saying when it first broke. Right? Somebody says, free that man. Somebody else says, RIP to that young man. Pops knew what time it was after that. Then somebody else says, that's a solid man right there. Then somebody else goes on to say, free the dad. Then somebody else responds, and I think this might be one of your smartest response. This is a precursor for more to come with seeking personal justice. Then somebody else says, the fact that she said everyone loved the pig made it a big victory. Now his kids and family know how we feel, innocent person. May God give us peace and we reconstruct the justice system so we don't have to do as God says, eye for an eye. Then somebody else says, free him, he ain't do it. Then somebody else says, free Then somebody else responds and says, if you gotta go out, this the way to go. Right, so this is just a small group of people who have a certain idea and a certain feeling towards this situation. Now let's just go ahead and go to the news to break it down.
Good evening. The deputy hit and killed by a car on Friday, and what police say was an intentional act is now identified. The Hamilton County Sheriff's Office says Larry Henderson was a recently retired deputy with 33 years of experience with the Sheriff's Office. Henderson served in various units from the dive team and SWAT to the FBI task force. Sheriff Charmaine McGuffey announcing today that Henderson's badge number 129 will be retired. Local 12's Chris Arnold is here tonight, and Chris, it's very clear that the support for Henderson continues to grow.
You know, that's right, Dwayne. What started as a small memorial for Henderson where he was hit and killed has grown quite a bit over the weekend. I saw a handful of people come by this afternoon to lay flowers down and pay their respects to the fallen deputy.
It broke my heart. It's a tragedy.
It's a growing memorial at the corner of Martin Luther King Jr. and Burnett Woods Drive. Flowers, candles, and even handwritten cards, all showing support for retired Hamilton County Sheriff's Deputy Larry Henderson.
A group of coworkers and I got together and collected some money so that we could bring some more flowers and bring some more life to this memorial and make sure that everyone who's driving by knows that he was well supported.
Ward Heilbronner didn't know Deputy Henderson personally, but says he's a friend and co-worker of Henderson's son.
I just know that his dad had to be a heck of a guy and a wonderful person just through what his son is.
Sheriff Charmaine McGuffey said in a statement on Sunday that Henderson trained divisions of the sheriff's office that included hundreds of deputy sheriffs. She says his ability to relate to and touch officers' lives was extraordinary. Henderson was hit and killed Friday while serving on a traffic detail for UC's graduation ceremony. Cincinnati Police Chief Teresa Thigi assured the public a thorough and accurate investigation would be done.
And I believe that it will be. In situations like this, it has to be, in order to keep the trust of people in the neighborhood.
Christ Temple Full Gospel Baptist Church Senior Pastor Peterson Mingo says most of his congregants are being patient as the investigation plays out.
And I think that's what's going to turn the page and bring a lot of people into their own conclusions.
As for the memorial, Heilbronner says he's hoping people will help keep it going. He says one of his coworkers is carving a plaque in Henderson's honor. That is expected to be out with the rest of the memorial by tomorrow. Dwayne?
All right, Chris, the man accused of killing Henderson remains held without bond tonight. A judge ordered Rodney Hinton Jr. to be sent to the Claremont County Jail. Hinton will be back in court on Tuesday to consider bond. After an officer-involved shooting on Thursday, 3 other people who were in the same vehicle as 18-year-old Ryan Hinton ran from officers. Hinton was shot and killed by police. 2 other suspects were caught quickly. The 4th was arrested yesterday afternoon.
So this is why I just let situations and let stories just unfold, and you don't necessarily jump right onto it, just because there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. Let's just be honest. It's no different than a situation where your guy, I forgot the guy's name, but he ended up yoking up some boy at a track meet. Right, I didn't initially talk about it, right? And everybody was trying to make it seem as if it's a race issue. And then once the story starts to come out even more, I mean, it's just like, maybe dude wasn't as innocent as we thought. Now, granted, you know, I mean, just once again, looking at the whole situation in of itself, it does not seem like the boy was all in the right. I'm gonna just be honest with you, and I think anybody can understand that. Same situation here. You go out your way to go ahead and go yoke a cop, a deputy, who had nothing to do with the situation, And we are trying to give someone kudos for that. Now, granted, I once again, you have a person who says, now his kids and family know how we feel, innocent person. May God give us peace and we reconstruct the justice system so we don't have to do as God says, eye for an eye. So once again, you go out, I believe an eye for an eye goes for one individual to the other person who did something to that individual, not you going out your way to go harm somebody else. And then on top of that, you go run somebody over, and our community is trying to justify that. That's wild. Because if it was y'all, literally, if it was y'all would not be having, y'all would be singing a whole different tune. Well, hold on. I get it. You know, one of my partners did what they did, but you ain't got to take me out for it to try to prove a point. Who knows? Maybe the deputy had a lot of black friends. Maybe he was down for the community. I mean, the dude was retiring, and the dude over here trying to get some money, and this is how we treat innocent people. Now, to sit here and say the son was innocent, that's wild. I mean, the dude was still in the car. That's number one, right? That's why they over here calling Kia boys, because I believe Kias and Hondas are real easy to kind of break into and steal. But you are riding around in a stolen car, then you get out the car, you got a gun. I say don't give cops a reason. You just gave a cop a reason. You're running with a gun, and the car is stolen. I mean, dude, and then you fall, right? Y'all saw it. The dude fell, and if I'm not mistaken, the gun was on the ground, because that's what they said they heard. They heard some metal hit the ground. Obviously, it sounds like the dude tried to pick it up. I could be wrong. I would assume the dude was trying to pick it up, right? Maybe. I could be wrong. From what I saw in that picture, it looked like he dropped it and tried to pick it back up. Does that mean he was going to bust rounds? No, it does not mean he was going to bust rounds. But at the end of the day, you just gave these cops a green light, period. You already gave them a green light, man, by stealing the car, and then you have a gun, and then you're running. Like, bro, like, I mean, that it almost seems as if that's what a lot of cops just wait for. They just want that to happen. They want that to happen, and we give them that reason. And I look at this situation the same way I look at a lot of your other situations, right? Because shout out to Anton Daniels. He was going back and forth with Jazz about a lot of these situations. And
stay on America.
Every situation in which you can name that you can say, for example, you can say Tulsa, Black Wall Street, all of that stuff. I can name you situations that you've had a leg up, you've had opportunities, and you completely fumbled it, and it had nothing to do with systematic racism.
Which ones?
Detroit, 67 riots, burning down your own city. The blackest city inside of the United States of America, that was the most powerful city in the United States of America during the 40s, 50s, and 60s, especially at the time where we had the manufacturing.
Why did they do that?
Manufacturing facilities that ultimately brought Black people out of poverty. And the interesting part about it is that Black people controlled the entire city. We controlled the mayor's office. We controlled the schools. We was the police chiefs. We were the firefighters. We were the majority of the residents. We controlled the entire city, and we stole, pillaged, raped, plundered, destroyed the entire city until ultimately it was the largest city to file for bankruptcy in 2008. So, why? Because we destroyed it ourselves. It ain't had nothing to do with nobody else.
What I'm asking you is, What prompted that? Did they just say, we just want to ruin our communities? Why did they riot?
We burned down our own cities.
Why?
We burned down our own stores because of the
Why?
67 riots. The same shit that y'all did during Black Lives Matters.
But
You
what
went through and
happened?
burned down Wendy's, you burned down
Did they just do
AutoZone,
it for no
you
reason,
did all of the dumb
Anton?
shit. And the main reason that you did it had nothing to do with the reason that you was protesting. As a matter of fact,
Anton, what I'm asking you is this.
when they researched and found the people that actually ran Black Lives Matters, it had nothing to do with the Black community in the first place.
Okay, we're not talking about that. I'm talking about what prompted the riots in the 60s in Detroit. What happened?
It doesn't matter what prompted it. The fact of the matter is, nobody made you burn your own city down. White people didn't come through and torch the city. No. It wasn't one Klansman that was in sight that came through and burned down the city.
And one of the topics that they brought up was your Detroit riots, how Black people in the community destroyed their own community because a cop did something to one of their people. So instead of going into the community where that cop may live or going over here to other communities, we decided to destroy our own community. Doesn't make any sense. Another situation that could have been avoided. Alton Sterling. We all know about that video. We've already seen it. The dude was fighting and going back and forth with the cops. You just gave a cop a reason. Is it right? No, it's not whatsoever. But you just gave a cop a reason. If you really cared about your life, you would just do whatever it takes just to make it back home. But a lot of us don't. We want to be argumentative. We allow our pride to get ahead of us. And then that's how you get an Alton Sterling. Eric Garner. You sitting on the side of the road. I believe he was either selling CDs or cigarettes, and some cops come up and said, hey, man, you need to go take that stuff elsewhere. You then tell him no. And then y'all go back and forth after he tells you multiple times to leave. Then he puts you in a chokehold, and then we have the situation that we have. Does he deserve that? No. But can we just ask a good question? Can we just ask a valid question? Would he still be here today if he just said, you know what? All right, cool. I'm gonna obey the authority and I'm gonna just go elsewhere. I get it. You have a lot of cops who have power trips, but most of your cops are not bad. Most of your cops don't go out the way to try to mess up somebody's day. A lot of these incidents that we have can be avoided if we just simply obey the law. But then the father crashes out. I mean, once again, that's wild. Once again, that's wild. That's no different than your Detroit riot, where we are upset because somebody outside of our community did something to one of us. So we don't go out there to go mess up their stuff. We mess up our own stuff. This guy right here, once again, you raised a Pookie. Let's just be honest here. Pookie was raised in this situation. His decisions cost him to end up in a situation that he's in. So you don't go take it out on a cop that did something to your son, even though it seems like he's in the right. I'm just being honest. But you go take it out on somebody, a retired deputy, a dude who already didn't live his life, did everything he wanted to do. Now he's just trying to make a little bit of extra cash. And you go take him up off the earth. I mean, guys, I'm just saying we just got to use some common sense here. I'm just saying we got to use some common sense. A lot of people dislike me having these sentiments because it's rooted off in fact. A lot of this stuff could have been avoided. The only situation I can see that was unnecessary was your Philando Castile, if I'm saying his name right, where the cop even asks him, you know, do you got a gun in there? Yada, yada. He tells him and the cop still shoots him. That's wild. That is wild. But for the rest of all other cases, avoidable. So, I mean, hey, look, y'all let me know down below. What do y'all think? Give me a huge favor, let me a like, let me comment, subscribe to the channel.